How's it going there, Tomahawk Talks Nation? It is official. The season is over, and the Kansas City Chiefs reign supreme and are 50 champions of the Super Bowl 57. Now, I called this game, I remember calling it in the last video. I said that this game was going to come down to a field goal, and Bucker was going to kick the field goal to win. Now, what makes this field goal so great? Okay, and we'll get a bit. We're going to talk about the. We're going to talk about the. We're going to get in detail and in depth with the end of that game here in just a sec. But Bucker missed a huge field goal earlier in the game and redeemed himself with a game-winning field goal. Now we're going to dive in just a little bit on how this situation panned out. Okay, so Chiefs have the ball. Eagles just tied up the game, scored a touchdown, and got the 2-point conversion by Jalen Hurts. And there's a little over, I'm saying there's probably about 4 minutes left in the game, give or take. I'm not particularly sure exactly what the time was when the Chiefs got the ball. And so now it is the Chiefs' turn to have the ball with a game tied up. And you know Andy Reid, and you know the offense. We're going to run the clock, and we're going to try to take this down to 2 minutes. And then we're going to try to either get down the field and potentially score, but we knew that wasn't going to happen. People wanted the big glorious touchdown, the big glorious win, but Chiefs just knew that we had to win this game. So the best way to do that was to go down the field, get in the field goal range, run the clock down, and kick the field goal. Eagles already had used a timeout, so they had 2 timeouts remaining with the Chiefs had the ball. We matriculate, in the words of Coach Strom. We matriculate down the field. We go down, and now it is third. I do believe it was 3rd and 8. With just under 2 minutes. Chiefs gone down the field. We are within scoring distance. And we run a play to throw a pass to Juju Smith-Schuster in the corner of the end zone. After the play, the flag on the field, and Bradbury and the Eagles defense is flagged for a defensive hold before the throw. Now, this has been huge controversy. Bradbury has come out after the game and claimed it because he actually has the balls and is actually man enough to fess up to it. Now, I've mentioned this to people and friends of mine. Shout out to Tyler Slottick. Shout out to my boy Tyler, who is a diehard Raiders fan and a avid Chiefs hater. And he says that it wasn't a hold. It shouldn't have been called. And he only confessed to it because he was just being humble because of their loss. Now, we all saw the play. The play on the field was the penalty on the field was called for a holding. And everyone's saying, "Oh, well, it shouldn't have been a hold. It shouldn't have been a penalty because the ball wasn't even catchable. He couldn't have caught that ball. No duh, because he held him. He held him from running his route. He grabbed his jersey, and then he wrapped around him. It's clear as day. Couldn't have been any clearer. It was a good call. It should have been called, and it did get called. I know that's not the way anybody wants the Super Bowl to go down. I know that's not the way the Eagles wanted it to go down. And I got to give it to the Eagles. Eagles are an amazing team. They are talented. They are star-studded, and they're going to be back next year. Nobody wants to lose a Super Bowl, and nobody wants to lose a big game like that with a penalty. But that has to be called because it's a penalty. Penalties have to be called. Whether it's a big game like a Super Bowl or not, you can't just let things go. So, yes, it sucks. I know this. We were just in a Super Bowl a couple years back, got stomped by the Bucks, and losing sucks. It does. But I don't care what anybody says. This game was called fair. There probably was some bad calls in that game. But to me, the game was ref fair. Nobody was getting favored. There wasn't a bunch of penalties throughout the game. Plus, not only that, if the Eagles' so-called best defense in the league would have stopped us from going down the field or would have stopped us from scoring every possession in the fourth quarter, it would have never come down to this. So the Eagles have nobody to blame but themselves. Their defense could not stop the Chiefs' offense that whole last fourth quarter. Every possession we went down the field, we scored a touchdown. No field goals, touchdowns. It would have never came to this if they would have played their defense they're supposedly so good at. And let's talk about this. Eagles claim to have the best defense. Zero. Zero sacks in that game. Hardly any QB pressure. Everybody talked about their defense and saying how Eagles were going to come in. Eagles were gonna come at Mahomes. They were going to get him at him because of his bad ankle. Didn't do nothing. They said they said that they were going to stop our run game. Couldn't do it. And Mahomes just threw up and down the field. So let's think about that. Chiefs straight up exposed the Philadelphia defense and ran all over them that second half. This is what happens when you play a team that has a coach like Andy Reid and players like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, who I think, honestly, him or Butker should have got MVP of the game. Don't get me wrong. I love Patrick Mahomes. Everybody does. All the Chiefs fans love Pat. But I think, honestly, that scoop and score and that field goal kept us in the game. Now, the Eagles are insane. Jalen Hurts played one hell of a game. Got to give them props. That Eagles offense was brutal. A.J. Brown tore us apart. Devontae Smith tore us apart. Dallas Goedert tore us apart. But in the end, the Eagles defense just couldn't stop us. There's only one way to beat the Chiefs, and that is to stop our offense. Nobody has done it. Kelce went through. Kelce couldn't be stopped. Isaiah Pacheco could not be stopped. Our special teams, Kadarius Toney, what a beat. That guy single-handedly now has the punt return record in the Super Bowl. He now holds the longest punt return in Super Bowl history. That to me is just phenomenal. Chiefs just played good football all around. Our defense was getting at Jalen Hurts. Hurts was running around. And you know how smart, the Chiefs defensive coordinator Spagnuolo is? They rushed him and they made Hurts go left. Why? Because he's right-handed. He's young. We're trying to make him throw a crossbody. If we make him go left, he can't throw it on the run. Now think about that. That is strategy. And not only that, plus Coach Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles didn't stand a chance. Good, give it to him. He's a good coach. He got him down. He got him to this game. But I knew for a fact that wasn't going to happen for him. Now, all in all, this was a great game. This by far goes down as one of the best Super Bowls, I think, to be played in Arizona, along with the Patriots helmet catch, or the Giants helmet catch against the Patriots. I mean, it's up there. This is going to go down in Super Bowl history. And what makes this even sweeter is that nobody, except for the Chiefs Kingdom, predicted the Chiefs to win this Super Bowl. Everybody, Fox, ESPN, all the fucking all the sports shows, everybody was picking Eagles because they said that Chiefs didn't have a better offense. Chiefs didn't have the better defense. And we came in there and we owned it. We came in there, we took over, and we won this game fair and square. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like us. Well, guess what? We don't care because we're Super Bowl champs, and that's all that matters. Now, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have a third Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes has two Super Bowls, two Super Bowl MVPs, and he broke the curse. He broke the Kurt Warner curse, and is now one of the only quarterbacks to win MVP and Super Bowl MVP and win the Super Bowl in the same year. Let that sink in. See, now looking at my phone, I saw earlier today that Patrick Mahomes is now thrown for 4,000 yards in his postseason plays, in his playoff. 4,000 yards in the playoffs. I mean, come on. And I know people get tired of Chiefs fans talking about Patrick Mahomes, but can you blame us? The guy is a stud. And if he was playing for anybody else's team, they'd be doing the same thing. But this just puts everything to bed. That Kansas City Chiefs did this without Tyreek Hill when nobody thought we would even get close to this. People were picking us not to even make the playoffs. People were picking us not to win the AFC West. All because of one guy. Well, now we've proven to you all that you don't underestimate the Chiefs. Never underestimate us. Never underestimate Coach Reed. Never underestimate Patrick Mahomes. Never underestimate Travis Kelce. Never underestimate our defense. Because when it comes down to it, we play hard ball all the way through, and we win games. And if anybody out there's got a problem with it, then go ahead and hate because we don't care because we Super Bowl champs. We'll be back next year. We will be back next year. So get ready because it's gonna happen again.